You've seen Starman with Jeff Bridges. Like, it's a great 80s flick. It really is. And I love this movie. It's one of my guilty pleasures. Jeff Bridges is a fucking man. And he's always been his whole career. When he was younger, too, he was doing some great roles. This was an awesome one. And honestly, now they're going to reboot it. They're going to reboot it, apparently, and it's been in the works for a long time. Since 2010, I think it's been in the works. It's been in the works for a long time. But Sean Levy actually is involved with this. Sean Levy's been involved. They've been going back and forth about if they're going to do it or not to do it. But the Free Guy director, he's done a lot of shit. He's working on Deadpool, but he's apparently assigned on to direct this, the 1984 classic Starman. And who's going to be playing Starman? Michael B. Jordan apparently just signed on. So before, Michael B. Jordan to play Jeff Bridges' part. Now, before, if you want to, it's about an alien who crash lands on Earth and falls in love during his quest to get back home. Now, this went back to actually, I thought it was 2010, but 2016 actually. Went back 2016, and they had some ideas, but then it fell out. It came back. They had no actor attached, and Sean was working on the script, and apparently they said they couldn't figure it out to just be the perfect script for this. And so the Hollywood Reporter actually reported this was happening. And we thought it was happening way back then. Of course, delays, COVID, and now Sean Levy's been doing all the Deadpool movies. He's been really freaking busy. But the writer and him got together, and here's what he said back in 2020. He said, and thus far in the script development of Starman, we haven't gotten a draft that feels worthy of making that title. But since then, when Michael B. Jordan came on board, apparently they figured something out. So Starman is coming, the reboot. And, I'd watch it. Honestly, I would watch it because I like this movie. I think it's great. The 80s, the problem is I'm so obsessed with that 80s version. We're going to be talking about this a lot tonight, guys. A lot about this, about, 80s versions versus now, because there's a lot of 80s movies that are coming out as reboots or their early development. And again, writer strike's done. People are talking about it. They're allowed to talk about it. They're allowed to talk about what they've been working on. So I love this movie. It's a cheesy movie. The graphics aren't the best. It might be a lot better nowadays. The idea is great. But again, it's an alien who impersonates a dead person. And then the girl falls in love with him because it looks like her husband. So, I mean, it's some weird territory. It's some weird territory to dive into. Yeah. But okay, I'm going to go to my co-host, Mike Casey Fast. Mike, do you think this is a great idea to reboot, or should they have left it back in 1980?
Why don't they make movies like this anymore? I want Jeff Bridges to be an alien to come down and fall in love with me. Everything doesn't have to be a Marvel movie. Let's get some magical realism with some ideas. I watch a lot of 90s movies just because there's some kind of imaginative conceits that I think that the audience has no problem. If you set up your rules from the beginning and you understand, okay, well, he's an alien, we can accept that as reality. And then we get to have a story that doesn't have to be a gritty fucking reboot. It can just be falling in love with an alien, and that's a beautiful thing. I only discovered today that this is a John Carpenter movie.
I didn't know that.
So
100% John Carpenter movie.
Yeah, that said, I have not seen this movie. But
you've not seen it,
right up. I haven't
seen it either.
I probably put it on and taken a nap because the cover art looks familiar.
Put it on and take a nap.
Yeah, no, I
remember this prequel review.
Yeah, Michael B. Jordan's going to be a hella sexy alien. That's all I got to say.
He'll be a sexy alien. I'm down for it.
I will say this: he brought up in the comments Racer X, the TV show. That I remember. I remember seeing that shit all the time, and I remember going,
"Was that in the 90s?
Fucking terrible! I'm never going to watch this."
Was it bad? Was it really bad?
It was worse than Alienation, the TV show, which was one of the worst.
Oh, Alienation!
I remember that shit.
Which the movie's great, but the TV show was fucking terrible, really bad. So,
yeah,
it's just one of those kind of things. Didn't work as a TV show. There was a lot of things that the 80s, the late 80s, when they would try to make TV shows.
He's producing
out of that stuff. It was never good. None of them were good. They just weren't. But the concept was there. They were let's make a TV show out of it. I was yeah, it's a good idea, but just you never did well. I don't know why we keep doing this. I don't know if you know the history of John Carpenter or not. I mean, he was doing really well as an independent director, and when he did Halloween and all that kind of shit, when he was blowing up, and then Hollywood was we have big plans for you. And so John Carpenter thought he was going to have a big career in Hollywood and genuinely was planning himself to be a large Hollywood director. And they gave him the remake of The Thing. And
oh my God.
They said
that
they thought that like, he's going to do really well with the remake of The Thing, and that they were planning to give him Firestarter. That was going to be his like
It's another big movie.
project. And The Thing was an absolute bomb. It absolutely destroyed his career. It was a huge financial failure. It did not make any money, and it basically crippled John Carpenter's career. And after The Thing, they went, yeah, you're not doing fucking Firestarter. You're out. And
oh shit,
Hollywood was like, we're not working with you.
You speak good movies, Racer X.
And so everything after that is independent. So John Carpenter spent the rest of his career as an independent director. He never achieved Hollywood grade director status. It's all because The Thing destroyed him. He has a personal bitter resentment towards The Thing.
It was good.
And the thing is that
excellent.
The Thing is
It's so good.
He is a very angry, bitter man who hates The Thing. And he's just now at this point in his life coming into acceptance of The Thing being a fantastic film and the cult following that he's achieved from it. But, as someone who watched his career be destroyed by that film, he doesn't feel the way that everybody else feels about it. And so he just has a very angry, bitter chip on his shoulder about Hollywood. And so when you presented this to me tonight, and then I see the next thing that we're going to talk about, which is another reboot of another one of his films.
Of another John Carpenter project.
And seeing other projects with Halloween also being something that they've gone in. I just feel like on a personal level, and I feel
nice fact, Justin.
Feels the same way, that John Carpenter has just been endlessly disrespected by Hollywood.
Absolutely.
And that to continue doing this to him, going, hey, John, remember these movies that you made that, they weren't that great because they weren't put out by us, right? We're going to reboot them and give them a real director.
Make them great now.
And let them like whatever. And they were all excellent films because John Carpenter is an exceptional filmmaker. He had original ideas. He had original concepts. He did all his own soundtracks. He was one of the most interesting and prolific directors. And on a personal level, he's always been very important to me because I've never seen anybody put out films like him. But like to understand him and what he had to go through in the system, it's a travesty. And like, he's a broken man. And to see him today as a broken man, and I understand why he is where he is. So I don't really want to see his movies get remade. I don't want to see that.
It's going to happen though, Lexi.
But I want
it's going down.
A chance. If you really want to help the man, give him a fucking chance.
Let him direct it, right?
I would.
That would be freaking amazing.
Let him direct it.
I don't think he can make a movie anymore. I think because I know that the Masters of Horror he made about the abortion clinic was terrible. And I think there's been some really bad films from him at the end of his career. I mean, Ghosts of Mars is an abysmal film. It's
Ghosts of Mars. The script was iffy.
And
it was all right. It wasn't the best.
It wasn't good. And it's not. It just had so many problems. It was like watching two boxcars on a track and a bunch of fucking sand and Ice Cube give one of the worst performances. And Ice Cube's a good director or actor. I love Ice Cube, genuinely. Like, he's a good actor. I don't know what his performance.
He never dies in his movies, by the way. Can't kill Ice Cube.
On track.
It's like,
that's true.
I don't think I think what you do at this point is you celebrate him and you give him a chance to like, have his films real praise. But I don't think you remake his stuff. I don't think you do what you're doing with him. So I don't
think you
really
let him, like you were saying, Lexi, let him direct. Let him direct it. Let him give him a chance. Like, technology's changed. If you want to reboot this thing,
let him make
if you're going to do it.
If there's one thing John Carpenter will not do is remake his own fucking movies.
Yeah, well, he's going to produce them.
I'm not doing that. I don't want to fucking do that. I'm not remaking that.
He's like, I'll produce that shit. I'm not going to go beyond that. Spencer, what do you think about this? Spencer, did you watch these at all? Do you know this movie, Starman? Do you think that he should have a chance to direct this again and do a reboot, or should they just leave this? If it didn't do that well, leave it in the past.
Yeah, I don't know, man. Not a lot I can weigh in on this. Haven't seen the movie. Love Jeff Bridges.
So good.
I think it'd be cool. They brought him back, honestly, but I don't know. I get real tired of recycling old material. And,
that's good. Sabrina's not here, so somebody had to say it.
Yeah.
Somebody had to say it. Yeah.
And the biggest problem I think with recycling old material is, expectation. The audience has some predisposition or expectation, and it just throws things askew. You know what I mean? So whether it's good or not, people are typically pissed off about something. So I don't know. You can make an alien come to Earth and fall in love and just name it something different.
You could.
Well, And this very premise was
honestly do that
several times again, like over and over again.
It's marketing, right?
This film
it's all marketing.
It's a very different movie, I would imagine.
The name tests well, and people are going to come back to theaters because they remember the name, and it's going to sell better than a new title. It's fucking capitalism.
You got a built-in David Bowie song already, same name.
Yeah.
Throw it over the credits.
Yeah.
I think we lost Keoki for a second. Keoki, are you still there, man?
Don't even get me started on capitalism.
Yeah, I'm still here. I'm still alive.
Okay.
I'm just getting my life together real quick.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Mike, do you think though, never mind. Cause see, honestly, Starman,
That's exactly
I honestly, this whole thing, Mike, like Starman, again, we're saying it's one of those 80s movies that maybe I think the way they did it works so well, like special effects are going to go so far, like leave it in the past.